So, hey everyone, welcome to Curtin Call. I'm Kevin Curtin. I'm here today with a very special guest. He's one of the greatest singers of all time, and he's got a new album coming out next Friday, May 25th, called Worth It All. And, without further ado, I introduce you to the legendary Jeffrey Osborne. Jeffrey.
What's up, Kev?
Thank you for being on the show. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So let's get right into it. I understand growing up, Providence, Rhode Island, real small family, right? Youngest of 12.
Yeah, it's a small family.
So, can you take me through, I understand your father was a trumpet player, you got your start playing drums, and I'm wondering, when did you go from playing drums to really finding your voice as well?
Well, I always sang.
Yeah.
I got my professional, I think drums opened the door for me professionally as a singer. But I started singing in nightclubs when I was like 13 years old. And so that was always my first love. Started playing drums at 15. Got a good break with the OJs, playing behind the OJs when I was 15 years old in Providence, Rhode Island. And that gave me all the motivation and inspiration that I needed to know this is what I want to do.
Right.
So drums opened the door for me there, and it opened the door when I met L.T.D. When I was in Providence, of course. They came through Providence. They used to be the backup band for 7 Day.
Right.
So they came through Providence. I went to a nightclub to see them. Their drummer got taken to jail. It was just being in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah.
I sat in with them, played drums and sang, and I got the gig with L.T.D.
Yeah.
But I always was a singer first.
Always a singer.
But with L.T.D., it was interesting because it was 10 of us, and everybody wanted to sing.
Yeah.
So our first 2 records was like 5 different singers. So there wasn't no identity going on. The 3rd record, the record company said, you gotta have an identity, and I think this guy should be singing the leads. And
interesting.
And that's how it all evolved as me being the singer.
It's funny, I was gonna ask that question. So the record company was the one that said, hey, we want Jeffrey to take the lead.
They basically said we need an identity.
Yeah.
And we think that people are going to identify more with his voice than anyone else's. Yeah.
Interesting. So I'm just curious, growing up, who were some of your influences drumming?
Drumming?
Yeah.
I had a lot of influences drumming growing up because being the youngest of 12, I got to listen to everything, jazz.
Right.
So, I went from, oh my God, Grady Tate, Jack D. Jeanette, Tony Williams. And these were like serious drummers.
Yeah.
I even liked Buddy Rich, the big band stuff.
Sure.
So the funk drummers I was listening to back then were people like Bernard Purdy.
Yeah.
Bernard Purdy was one of my favorite drummers. And then as I got into the business and started working with people, there were more people that I liked, like James Gatson was one of my favorite drummers, and Steve Ferroni was my all-time favorite drummer, who ended up playing on my first solo record. He used to be a drummer for Average White Band.
Okay, sure.
He was amazing, and he's one of my all-time favorite drummers.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm dying in this room right now. They must have the heat on. I don't know what's going on here, but excuse me, I'm dying a little bit here, but we're gonna keep this going. So,
all right.
So anyway, I don't know, I guess it's the bald head. You could probably relate every now and again. But you're keeping cool right now.
Mine gets more cold than hot.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Well, God bless you. Yeah. Me, I heat up real quick, and everyone that knows me knows that. But anyway, we'll keep it moving here. So, you answered a couple of my questions about L.T.D. What I'm also wondering is you actually played drums on a lot of those records, right?
Yeah. On most of the records, I played drums on the L.T.D. records.
Yeah.
Starting from, we had a lot of records. We had 2 records that no one even knows about.
Yeah.
Our 3rd record was the record that actually made us popular.
With Love Ballad,
with
right?
Love Ballad on it,
Right.
So I played drums on Love Ballad. I played drums on a lot of the L.T.D. songs. My brother Billy also played drums, so we used to switch off.
Sure.
But played on all the records, and I think until Love Ballad was when I got up from behind the drums.
Yeah.
But I still continued to play on the records, but live I wasn't playing drums anymore because I was now out front, so I had to learn how to do something with my hands because I was so used to playing and singing. I didn't know what to do with my hands when I stood up, so we got this it's funny, we got this this theater director at LA City College. It's really good. And we brought him in, and he kind of showed me how to project, what to reach for, who to reach for, and kind of helped me out there.
Yeah. Speaking of Love Ballad, I wanna go back a little bit before Love Ballad. can you paint the picture of what it was like in the early days before all the success and airplay and everything with the band, kind of hanging with the band, rehearsing? What was that like? Just
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very close knit situation because we started off in L.A. in 1970. We all lived in a 1-bedroom place with 10 people.
Wow.
And we used to set up in the room in there, and we used to rehearse in the room there.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was just that I had to seek out other jobs until we made it. So I started playing drums with everybody. I played drums with Smokey Robinson.
Really?
Played with him for a while. Yeah,
Wow.
I played drums with a lot of people because I had to keep some food on the table.
Yeah.
While we was, trying to get our thing together. So it was a struggle back then. It was really a struggle, and we got our first contract in 1972.
Yeah.
And we had 2 albums that didn't do nothing until 1975 when Love Ballad came out.
Yeah. So I understand Love Ballad was done in one take. Your vocals were done in one take.
Yeah,
right?
it was. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I wasn't happy about having to sing it at that time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because there's a story behind this, right?
Yeah,
it
was done at 5 o'clock in the morning or something, and I was not in the mood, and like, well, you're here, might as well go try and sing it. I'm like, all right, so I go in and I sing it one time, and I'm like, okay, that's it, leave.
Yeah.
And that was the take.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, I want to also kind of circle forward to 2 songs, Holding On and Stranger, which are 2 of my favorites from L.T.D. I want to know what inspired these songs, and what do you remember about recording both of those?
Well, Holding On was inspired by the fact that I was going through divorce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what the song is all about.
Don't mind me.
It's about holding on when love is gone.
Right.
How we have to actually force ourselves to stay in a relationship that's not healthy.
Right.
And so that's what that song is about.
Yeah.
Stranger, that's one of those songs that's just about someone who's just wandering around out there all aloof, not knowing what's going on, not knowing what really means something to them. Being young, being out there, women all around, you gotta mess with this one, that one, this one, but basically the one that you're supposed to be with is really the one, but it's testing the water.
Yeah.
That's basically what Stranger was all about.
Yeah.
I wrote that with the trombone player with the group, Jake Riley.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, it is a great song.
It's probably my favorite L.T.D. song. Yeah, of all time.
Song. It's the one lick that I sang in that song got ripped off more than
by R. Kelly.
By a whole lot of other
others.
people, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But
hopefully you got some credit for some of that.
Oh no, you don't. It's
That's a shame.
Yeah, there's copyright infringement laws, but basically,
but we've heard it sampled over and over.
4 bars before they say, "Oh, you're
right."
You're ripping off somebody.
But anyone that knows that R. Kelly stuff that I'm talking about, you'll hear all of Jeffrey's stuff.
Yeah, that lick was sung by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hey.
So anyway, moving on here, obviously you eventually go solo, and the great George Duke produced your first few albums.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how did that relationship come about, and what did you learn from the great George Duke?
That relationship was one that actually, I have to say A&M helped me with that, because they came to me, I had just left LTD, and I was searching for someone to produce my first record. And so they gave me a few names, and I met with a few people, and then I met with George. We just hit it off. And I had known George because we were doing shows together at one time. LTD and George Duke was out doing shows. So we've done some shows together, and I've always admired him so much as a musician.
Unbelievable.
Musician, singer, producer.
Yeah.
So when I sat with George, it was just like we just hit it off immediately. And so it was a great choice for me. It was almost like a blessing, like somebody placed me in the hands of the right person.
Yeah.
And I hit it off with George, and he did my first 3 records. And then he actually did the last record I had, was a jazz standard record, and George produced that. But I wouldn't want anybody else to have done that record.
Yeah.
But I had a great relationship with him. We spent a lot of time in the studio, outside, we hung.
Yeah.
Wrote songs together.
Just a good guy.
Great guy.
What was the best thing you learned from him? Best takeaway maybe from
George?
Yeah.
He kind of instilled in me that I was ready to do what he does, and I didn't need him. which I thought was incredible. I mean, not many people would do that. And he was like, well, you don't really need me to do this. You're making all the suggestions and you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, but I have that feeling of comfort and confidence when you're doing it.
Right.
But I learned a lot from George, man.
Yeah.
He opened my eyes to a lot of things, how to structure things, how to not let things get in the way. Because I think as a songwriter, you tend to you're creative.
Yeah.
So you hear all this other stuff, and you want to add this, and you want to add that, and you want to add that.
Yeah.
And the one thing I learned from him was that beauty is simplicity. And you don't have to keep adding something on because you're creative. But just
sometimes simple is better.
Let that space speak. There's space that's important. So I learned what not to do a lot with George.
That's great. That's great. So I think we may have heard this story before, but could you tell the story behind the Woo Woo song? It's also another favorite of mine and a favorite of probably many other people out there in the world. So
well, the Woo Woo song was one of those songs. That's the first album I left and went with a different producer because George produced my first 3 solo albums. So I went with Richard Perry and.
Who produced Nilsson, right? And
he produced Pointer Sisters, a bunch of people.
Right.
And he actually got this song through the songwriters. The songwriters were Bruce Roberts and Andy Goldmark. And they brought the song to him. He sent the song to me. And I wasn't sure of the song until I sang it. I sang it and I was like, kind of like the song.
Yeah.
And back then, we would go in the studio. And I'm sure people still do the same thing. I still do it. I go in, I record, and I go home and I put it on while my family's hanging around. I listen to this. I just did this. And the name of the song was "You Should Be Mine." And my daughter was 3 years old at the time, and she just kept coming over and said, "Daddy," I said, "What? Play that Woo Woo song again." I said, "What Woo Woo?" The Woo Woo song. I said, "That's You Should Be Mine." She said, "No, it's not. It's the Woo Woo song." I said, "Oh, is that what it is?" So I called the songwriters. I said, "My daughter said that this is the Woo Woo song." They said, "Well, okay, maybe we should put that on the song." So
That's great.
So it was "You Should Be Mine," the Woo Woo song in parentheses. Is how it was written up.
That's great. That's great. So the new album's coming out May 25th. Worth It All. Produced entirely by you, right? For the most part.
Right.
All original songs. What inspired the album, and what keeps you writing, and what keeps you inspired to this day?
Well, I think what inspired the album was the record company came to me and asked me to do a record. That's what really inspired it.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because it's Mack Avenue.
Yeah.
And they're a smooth jazz label.
Yeah.
So they came to me, they had heard my jazz record, and they said, would you like to maybe do a smooth jazz record? And I was like, yeah. So I said, well, let me put some stuff together and let you hear what I'm hearing. And so I started writing, but my writing wasn't taking me into the smooth jazz area. It was taking me to the old school R&B area. So I ended up, going back and said, look, I'd rather do an old school R&B record. And they're like, well, let's hear it. We don't have anything like that. That would be great. And so that's how it all got started. And that's what was happening, really. I hadn't been writing for a while, but when I got back to writing, I was kind of feeling my roots, where I came from, and I just started putting songs, and it took a while because my creative juices hadn't been flowing for a while, and it took a good 3 or 4 weeks before I finally came up with something, and then from that point it just opened up, and I was able to just come up with song after song after song.
Where do they come from for you? I mean, are you in the shower? Are you driving? Are you at home? Where do they kind of come up?
Every now and then a melody will come. Believe it or not, I'll wake up with a melody.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm like sleeping and I wake up and I'm singing this melody. So I grab a little recorder and put it down. And then some of those work and some of them don't.
Yeah.
For the most part, I make an effort to sit down and write. And I'm not a piano player, but I write from piano. And generally, the first thing I sing is where I end up going as far as lyrics are concerned. Because I'll sit down and I'll write and I'll sing a melody, and somewhere in that melody I'm going to sing about 3 or 4 words. Because I just be mumbling, oh I love it, oh that's it, I'm going to write about that. So whatever just naturally comes lyrically, I try to then write that song around what I think is my real inner feeling of the song.
Interesting. So I'm curious, what's a song that you didn't write that you wish you wrote?
Well, Love Ballad is one.
Yeah.
I had some big hits that I didn't write. Love
Yeah.
Ballad, Back in Love Again.
Yeah.
Wish I had written that.
What about outside of LTD and?
Outside of LTD?
Just like, you know, maybe
Oh.
something from back in the day, or maybe a Motown record, or.
Oh, well, there's so many great songs that I wish I had written. Stevie wrote quite a few songs
Sure.
that I wished, like All Was Fair in Love. That was
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my all-time favorite
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
Donny Hathaway.
He was incredible.
Song for You.
Yeah.
Those are just classic songs that I found myself singing all the time, and said to myself, man, well, if I could write a song like that.
Right.
You
Right.
just never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of them that we're influenced a lot, and we walk around singing everybody else's songs, and somewhere along the line, subconsciously, that sits in the back of your mind, and you don't even know it. You'll be writing, and all of a sudden you finish the song, and you're like, well, that line right there sounds like Stevie would have sang it like that.
Right.
It just happens.
Yeah. So I'm curious, what are you listening to these days when you're in the car, when you're at home, when you're maybe working out?
Well, I listen to a lot of kind of jazz records, more so. I kind of like just listening to music freely, as opposed to, I don't listen to a lot of today's music as much. I do, but I don't make the attempt to do it. I'll be like with my son who's younger, and so, I'm eardropping on what he's playing.
Right.
But yeah, I like some of today's artists, I like what's going on with like Bruno Mars.
Right, we were talking about that before, yeah.
So I listen, I try to stay abreast of what's going on.
Yeah.
Top 40 radio is kind of weird for me because everything sounds alike to me.
Yes.
But there's young artists like Alicia Cara, I like her. So a lot of young people out there that I think are talented and have their own sound.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for in today's music. People that grab me are people that are identifiable, and and there's not a lot of them, because a lot of them sound like the last person on the radio. But I think that's most important, because when I was growing up, all the people I liked, they had their own sound, and you knew Aretha when you heard her, you knew Gladys when you heard her, you knew
Stevie,
you
knew Michael, you knew Prince,
you knew that. So those are the kind of people, the young people that gravitate to someone. I'm like, oh, she's got a unique kind of sounding voice. It doesn't even have to be a great singer. Yeah, just have that sound.
Just the sound.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a Bill Withers. I mean, I don't think Bill Withers is no great singer, but he has a great identity. As soon as you hear his voice, it's like, bam, Bill Withers. It's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious, what's your proudest accomplishment musically, and what's your advice for today's generation of musicians?
My proudest accomplishment musically, wow, that's interesting. I think for me it would have to be the very first time I heard myself on the radio.
Yeah. Can you take me back to that moment and what song that was, maybe?
It was Love Ballad.
It was Love Ballad.
It was Love Ballad, and it was, in LA, and I'm riding down the street, and bam, it came on, and I just stopped the car and pulled over and screamed. Like, yes! I mean, it was like one of those moments that you waited your whole career for. Yeah. And, like we had 2 albums before that, and I may have heard something on an obscure little station somewhere, but not on the major, radio station. Yeah. In rotation. Yeah. That to me was my proudest accomplishment. I mean, after that, you're happy for the success that comes with it. Sure. But I've never had like a lot of accolades. I've never won a Grammy. I've been nominated for Grammys, but that seems to be the barometer for people, a Grammy. And I've never won a Grammy. Not that I didn't deserve to win a Grammy. Right. Exactly. Because I found out how political it is.
Oh, but, absolutely.
But still, that's kind of nice to have under your belt. But then, there's a lot of people that don't.
Well, what, the music speaks for itself.
Exactly. Well, I think the most important thing for me is that I have, my peers are the people that mean the most, and to have their support, to know that these great people that I love, love what I do, that means more to me than anything.
Right. I want to close with the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Classic.
Oh, right.
And just if you could tell us a little bit about it for people that don't know about it. You do a lot of great things with that for charities, Boys and Girls Club. So I'm just, if you could just tell our audience and people out there in the world what it's all about.
Well, the Jeffrey Osborne Celebrity Classic happens now annually. It started 7 years ago. Started in my hometown of Providence, Rhode Island. I wanted to be able to come and give something back to my hometown, my community, where I grew up. I felt it means more to me to do that there. You know, I live in LA, but everybody has something in LA, so it didn't mean as much. So I decided to do it in Rhode Island. It started with Magic Johnson made it really happen because he said he would host my first tournament.
Magic's the man.
So Magic, getting him on board was huge. He came back, he hosted it, and the first year we actually did a celebrity basketball game at Providence.
Oh, really?
College.
Okay.
Yeah, we did it, and that was fun. A lot of people came out to that.
Nice.
And the first year went really well. So I have 6 charities in Rhode Island that I give money to annually, and then we moved to Foxwoods last year. So I also picked up the Boys and Girls Club in Hartford. So I donate money to the, but it's really one of those things I've always wanted to do, be able to give back to things that made me feel good, charities that made me feel good, like the Boys and Girls Club. I have the Rhode Island Philharmonic Orchestra, which is important to me because together we put music back in public school systems. Because I mean, that's the first thing to go in all these school systems is things like, music. Now it's even sports they're doing away with, which is crazy.
It's great.
Yeah. So, they're one of my charities. I have the Met School, an alternative high school, which is nice for kids to go and take up what they want to be in life, whatever their goal is in life. They can take classes to support that. I have the St. Mary's Home for Children, which is a home for abused children, and that's just incredible to go there and just see, and to just, it's just crazy to know that people would abuse children.
Terrible.
So that's one of my charities. Also the Amos House, which is one of those places in the community that feeds people every day, feed homeless people.
Oh, that's great.
And they take people in, they find places for them, they teach them culinary arts.
Really? Interesting.
They teach them carpentry. At one point they had a restaurant there where people they took in built all the furniture and cooked in the kitchen. So it's one of those places. It's just a really nice, warm, heartfelt kind of place. So they're one of my charities. And then I have Buttonhole, which is the only 9-hole golf course in Providence, Rhode Island. And they go to schools during recess and teach kids about golf, about that it's more than just a game, because socially it can just open up the world for you. And so that's important to me. And those are the charities, along with the charity in the Hartford Boys and Girls Club, that we donate money to every year. So we had a softball game the next year. We went and did a softball game at the McCoy Stadium where the Paul Sox played. So we had a celebrity softball game. Magic used to pitch, and we played against the alumni of the Patriots. So it was kind of cool. You had Ty Law and Steve Grogan and all those. And
Really?
Wow. So we did that, and we did one last year up in Connecticut. And this year we decided to not do the softball game, so we're doing a celebrity bowling.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we have the comedy show on the 29th. The celebrity bowling, it will be the afternoon of the 29th. The comedy show that evening. The 30th, we have our welcome reception where everybody comes in, the sponsors come in, they meet all celebrities. And then Tuesday we play golf. So it's a 3-day event. It's been going great, and we're looking forward to this year, which will be July 29, 30, and 31st.
Very good. Well, listen, I want to thank you again for being on the show, and also we usually end the show with social media. So where can people follow you? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that.
JeffreyOsborne.com is my website, and you can find out everything on my website.
Okay, great.
Just go there, and it'll post everything, my tour dates,
Twitter,
everything you want to
Instagram,
know,
all
Twitter,
that stuff.
all that,
Great.
it's all
Great.
accessible through there.
Well, for this show, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Curtin
All
Cole
right.
87 on both of those. And again, I just want to, I'm truly honored and humbled to have you here today. This is really a treat, and I want to thank you for all your musical contributions to music history.
Right.
And it's really an honor. So thank you again.
All right.
It's been good.
All right.
Very good.